Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about another 10 common idioms, phrases, and sentences that native English speakers use every single day. These are expressions you'll hear in casual conversations, at work, with friends, and even in movies and TV shows. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these expressions mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. Here's how you can get the most out of this video. First, listen while reading the subtitles. This will help you catch every word and follow along more easily. Then, play the video again and try to repeat the sentences out loud, but this time without reading the subtitles. This will really help you improve your pronunciation, listening, and speaking skills. Don't forget to pause and write down any new idioms or phrases you like. That way, you can remember and review them later. This is a great way to boost your listening, reading, and speaking, all at the same time. This lesson is a fun and simple way to improve your English step by step. Before we start, can I ask you a quick favor? If you're finding this video helpful, please like it. I really appreciate it. All right, let's dive in. Number 1, where were you born? This is a super common question that people ask when they're getting to know each other. It's basically asking about your birthplace, the city or country where you came into this world. It's a friendly way to learn about someone's background and where they originally come from. I remember when I started my new job last year, during lunch on my first day, one of my coworkers asked me this exact question. She said, "So, where were you born?" It led to this really nice conversation about our different hometowns and childhood memories. It's such a natural way to connect with people. For example, if someone asks you this question, you might answer, "I was born in Chicago, but I grew up in California." You might hear something like, "Where were you born?" "I can't place your accent." Here's another one. "My friend always asks new people where they were born because she loves learning about different places." Have you ever been asked this question? It's one of those questions that can really start a great conversation about your background and experiences. Number 2, are you dense? Now, this one might sound a little rude, and honestly, it can be. When someone says, "Are you dense?" they're basically asking if you're being slow to understand something or if you're not getting an obvious point. It's like saying, "Are you being thick-headed?" or "Are you not paying attention?" I have to tell you, this expression is not very polite, so you need to be careful about when and how you use it. Usually, it's said when someone is frustrated because they think the other person should understand something that seems clear to them. For example, if you keep asking the same question over and over, someone might say, "Are you dense? I just explained this 3 times." You might hear something like, "Don't be dense, the answer is right in front of you." Let's take this one. "I felt bad when my brother asked if I was dense, but I really didn't understand the math problem." My advice: try not to use this expression unless you're very close to someone and you're being playful. It can hurt people's feelings if you're not careful. Number 3, that's hilarious. This is such a fun and positive expression. When you say, "That's hilarious," you're telling someone that something is extremely funny. It's stronger than just saying, "That's funny." It means you find something so amusing that it really makes you laugh or smile big. I use this expression all the time. Just last week, my friend told me this story about how she got locked out of her house in her pajamas and had to climb through her kitchen window. I couldn't stop laughing and I said, "Oh my goodness, that's hilarious." It's such a natural way to show that you really enjoyed someone's funny story. For example, when your friend tells you a joke that makes you laugh out loud, you might say, "That's hilarious. Tell me another one." You might hear something like, "Did you see that video of the cat trying to catch its own tail? That's hilarious." Here's another one. "My dad's jokes are usually terrible, but sometimes he says something that's actually hilarious." Do you have any funny stories that would make people say, "That's hilarious"? I'd love to hear them in the comments. Number 4, what's your type? This is a really interesting question that people ask in different situations. Most commonly, it's about romantic preferences. When someone asks, "What's your type?" they want to know what kind of person you're usually attracted to or interested in dating. But it can also be about other preferences too. I remember being at a coffee shop with my friend, and she was telling me about this dating app she was using. She said, "I keep matching with people who aren't really my type." Then she asked me, "What's your type anyway?" We ended up having this long conversation about what we look for in a partner. For example, if someone asks about your dating preferences, you might say, "I don't really have a specific type, but I like people who are funny and kind." You might hear something like, "What's your type? Do you prefer tall guys or short guys?" People often say, "He's totally my type, smart and creative." But remember, this question isn't always about dating. Sometimes people ask about your preferences for other things too. Have you ever been asked this question? What would you say? Number 5, "I'm gonna get another drink." This is super casual and natural. First, notice how we say gonna instead of going to in casual conversation. This phrase simply means you're planning to get one more drink, whether it's water, coffee, soda, or anything else. It's something people say all the time in social situations. I was at a party last weekend, and after finishing my first glass of lemonade, I said to my friend, "I'm gonna get another drink. Do you want anything?" It's such a normal thing to say, and it's also a polite way to offer to bring something back for others. For example, at a restaurant, you might tell your friends, "I'm gonna get another drink. This iced tea is really good." You might hear something like, "I'm gonna get another drink from the kitchen. Anyone else want one? Let's take this one." After that long presentation, I'm definitely gonna get another drink of water. Imagine this. You're at a family gathering, and you've finished your first cup of coffee. You might say, "I'm gonna get another drink. That coffee was perfect." It's so simple but so useful in everyday conversations. Number 6, "You surprise me." This is such a sweet and genuine expression. When you tell someone, "You surprise me," you're saying that they did something unexpected, and usually it's something good or impressive. It's like saying, "I didn't expect that from you," but in a positive way. I'll never forget when my little nephew, who's usually very shy, stood up in front of his whole class and gave this amazing presentation about dinosaurs. Afterward, I told him, "You surprise me. I had no idea you knew so much about dinosaurs and could speak so confidently." He was so proud. For example, if your friend who usually hates cooking makes you a delicious meal, you might say, "Wow, you surprise me. This tastes incredible." You might hear something like, "You surprise me with how thoughtful you are." Here's another one. "I have to admit, you surprise me sometimes with your creative ideas." People often say this when someone shows a talent or quality they didn't know about. It's a really nice compliment because it shows you're paying attention to someone and appreciating them. Have you ever surprised someone in a good way? Number 7, "It's not the end of the world." This is one of my favorite expressions to help people feel better. When you say, "It's not the end of the world," you're telling someone that their problem or mistake isn't as terrible as they think it is. It's a way to put things in perspective and help someone calm down about something stressful. I remember when my friend was crying because she spilled coffee on her white shirt right before an important meeting. She was so upset and said, "This is a disaster. What am I going to do?" I told her, "Hey, it's not the end of the world. We can find you another shirt or you can wear your jacket. Everything will be fine." And you know what? It was fine. For example, if someone is panicking about being 5 minutes late, you might say, "Relax, it's not the end of the world. Just call and let them know you're on your way." You might hear something like, "I know you failed the test, but it's not the end of the world. You can retake it." Imagine this. "Yes, I forgot to bring the dessert to the party, but it's not the end of the world. We'll figure something out." This expression is so helpful when you want to comfort someone or remind them that most problems have solutions. Do you think you could use this expression to help a friend who's feeling stressed? Number 8. When you're done with that. This is a polite and patient way to ask someone to do something after they finish what they're currently doing. It's much nicer than saying, "Hurry up," or "Do this now." It shows respect for what the person is already working on while also letting them know you need something. At my office, my boss uses this expression all the time. Instead of interrupting me when I'm focused on a task, she'll say something like, "When you're done with that report, could you help me with the presentation?" It makes me feel respected and not rushed. For example, if your roommate is washing dishes and you need to use the sink, you might say, "When you're done with that, can I wash my hands really quickly?" You might hear something like, "When you're done with that phone call, we should talk about dinner plans." People often say, "When you're done with that book, can I borrow it?" Let's take this one. "When you're done with that project, would you mind helping me move this furniture?" It's such a considerate way to ask for help or attention. Have you ever used this kind of polite expression before? Number 9. You know your stuff. This is such a great compliment. When you tell someone, "You know your stuff," you're saying they're really knowledgeable and skilled at something. It's like saying, "You're an expert," or "You really understand this topic well." It's a way to show respect for someone's knowledge and abilities. I love using this expression. Last month, I was having trouble with my computer, and my friend fixed it in just a few minutes. I said, "Wow, you really know your stuff when it comes to computers." She was so happy to hear that compliment, and it made her feel appreciated for her skills. For example, if someone gives you great advice about gardening, you might say, "You definitely know your stuff about plants. My garden has never looked better." You might hear something like, "I can tell you know your stuff about cooking. This meal is amazing." Here's another one. "When it comes to cars, you really know your stuff. Thanks for helping me choose the right one." Imagine this. You're at a workshop, and the instructor is answering everyone's questions perfectly. You might think, "This person really knows their stuff." It's such a nice way to acknowledge someone's expertise. Who in your life would you say really knows their stuff? Number 10. You drive a hard bargain. This is a fun expression that's often used in a playful way. When you say, "You drive a hard bargain," you're telling someone that they're being tough in a negotiation or that they're asking for a lot in a deal. It usually means they're not giving up easily and they want the best possible outcome for themselves. I remember when I was trying to buy a used bike from my neighbor. I offered him $50 and he said, "I was hoping for 75." We went back and forth for a while, and finally I said, "Okay, $65, but that's my final offer." He laughed and said, "You drive a hard bargain, but okay, deal." It was actually a fun conversation, not stressful at all. For example, if someone is negotiating the price of something and won't accept your first offer, you might say, "You drive a hard bargain, but I respect that." You might hear something like, "I wanted to trade my sandwich for just your chips, but you want my cookies too." You drive a hard bargain. People often say, "My little sister drives a hard bargain when it comes to trading toys." Let's take this one. "I'll help you move your furniture, but you have to buy me dinner and give me $20. You drive a hard bargain." It's usually said with a smile because it shows you respect the other person's negotiating skills. Have you ever driven a hard bargain for something you really wanted? And there you have it. Those are 10 incredibly useful expressions that native English speakers use every single day. From asking about someone's background with, "Where were you born?" to complimenting someone's skills with, "You know your stuff." These expressions will help you sound more natural and confident in your conversations. Remember, the best way to learn these expressions is to practice using them in real situations. Try to use at least one of these in a conversation this week. And don't worry if it feels awkward at first, that's totally normal. The more you practice, the more natural they'll become. I'm really curious which of these 10 expressions was your favorite today, and which one do you think you'll use first? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you and learning about your English journey. Don't forget to like this video if it helped you, and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow I'll be back with 10 more common idioms, phrases, and sentences that will take your English to the next level. Take care and keep practicing your English. You're doing great, and I'm so proud of how hard you're working to improve. I'll see you in the next video.